Fire, fire, fire. How dangerous are crossbows? Yo, he's got like 3 on one side and 3 on the other? This is insane!
How dangerous are crossbows?
Ooh.
Like, would they actually be effective in a post-apocalyptic scenario? To find out, I got the 5 most unique crossbows on the market, from a 1-to-1 replica of a medieval crossbow, to 2 semi-automatic assault crossbows, to that, ending with the most powerful crossbow on the planet. The plan is to review them all.
That crossbow's name is DeCock.
And measure how accurate,
What?
fast, and lethal they are.
DeCock?
So I want to test the 5 crossbows I got, going from the cheapest to the most expensive one. And so technically,
$4,000.
I should start from this. This is a 1-to-1 replica of a medieval crossbow. In movies, medieval crossbows are portrayed like super deadly and capable of penetrating through anything, even armor. But are they actually? Well, it has a 242-pound draw weight, and for comparison, the average draw weight of a medium frame bow is about 50 pounds, or 22 kilograms.
Damn, that's like
That's
nothing.
probably why the seller suggested me to get a cocking device like a wine glass, a goat's foot, or a belt hook. But I ignored that, because I'm a proud man, and I can cock the crossbow by hand.
Oh my
To do
god,
that,
you're gonna rip
you hold the crossbow down with one foot, and just pull.
That doesn't look easy. He's a big dude too. Like, he's got big forearms.
I had to try a few times, but after a while,
Uh,
I actually managed to do it.
bro,
Right now, this
imagine doing this in the middle of a battlefield, man. That shit sucks.
string is held in place by a steel hook, and so I can load the wooden bolt, which weighs about 26 grams. To do that, I just gotta place the bolt in front of the string.
I'm
And
always
now,
scared
after
to
removing the
lapel.
safety, by pressing this lever, the hook becomes free to spin.
This is
It
so
releases the string
dangerous, bro.
and shoots the bolt.
Bam! Oh,
And also, I'm not sure if you noticed from the camera, but this thing is loud. Now, to compare this crossbow with all the next ones, I'm running a series of tests. And the first one of them is measuring the energy it generates. First, I gotta find the
physics,
velocity.
chat.
So I'm placing 2 poles at 1.3 meters from each others, and knowing the
speed
distance
camera.
between the poles, and measuring the time it takes the bolt to fly through that distance, I got a speed of 152.6 feet per second, which with this bolt, it generates an energy of 28 joules, which is not extreme, especially compared to the crossbows I'm gonna test later. At least on paper. Now, besides energy, how accurate is this thing? For the accuracy test, I'm gonna use the same target for all the crossbows.
Okay.
And I'm gonna shoot 3 times from 16 yards and 3 times from 32 yards. Then sum all the points I got to get the final accuracy score.
Well, actually, this is not going to be accurate enough because you need at least 1,000 times. Also, the weather can affect your trajectory and the wind as well, so you can't have any control over that unless you do it inside of an insulated factory setting where there's no wind or weather environmental factors. This is not scientifically accurate.
That was actually...
That was a good shot, though.
To be fair, it's pretty hard to aim with this thing. It's the only crossbow on the list without a scope. And so, the first shot I
I
got
forget if he's Italian or Spanish, but that's probably why he's so good with a crossbow.
got me pretty excited.
Damn!
And then, I missed all the next shots.
Oh, never mind. He
Literally
sucks.
all of them.
Skill issue.
And so, the medieval crossbow gets a total accuracy score of 7 points. Now the third test is about penetration. So to measure the penetration, I could just use a gelatin block, but I already know the bolts are gonna just stick into it, and I didn't think it would be that interesting of a test. So instead, I made a shield. I basically placed a 0.7 inch pine board in front of the gelatin. So it's gonna be interesting to see if the
gelatin.
bolts can even go through that.
That didn't pierce.
And the bolt left a mark into the board, but it didn't go through it. Now, the last test for the medieval crossbow, before moving to the next ones, is about damage. I'm gonna shoot a ballistic dummy head with bones from 50 meters.
I wish that was
and
me.
see what happens.
Oh. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, his shoulder, chat.
That's low. It went in, but it's slow. And to be fair, it didn't even penetrate much. In any case, I tried again.
Pull that thing out in the middle of battle in the medieval times and you'd get probably get an infection. It's a lot of damage. Oh!
So it broke the tip of the bolt. It actually fractured it though a little bit.
Oh,
but
jeez.
Based on this test, the medieval crossbow is actually not lethal.
Deflected.
Not saying it wouldn't have hurt though. Anyways, these are all the results I got with the first crossbow. Now the second and the third crossbows are very special, mainly for two reasons. The first one is linked to the biggest flaw of crossbows, the reload time. It generally takes a while to cock a crossbow, and then you also gotta load the bolt, which makes them pretty useless if you find yourself against more than one zombie. While these two have a magazine, and they're basically semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic is so aggressively American. This guy's filming this in Europe. Chat, we need to ban semi-automatic crossbows. We can't have zombies getting hurt, okay?
You can shoot multiple bolts very fast. The second reason why these are so special is because they've been invented, designed, and tested by a fellow creator and a great inspiration of mine when it comes to prototyping and engineering, Jörg Sprave. More than a decade ago, Jörg had the idea of developing a special magazine for crossbows. Something that would allow you to load a new bolt automatically every time you cock the crossbow back. The experiments started with plywood and elastic bands in his workshop, then fast forward a few years, and here they are.
Dude, that's so
Starting
cool.
from the most compact of the two, the Interceptor. This is as close as a crossbow can get to an assault rifle on the current market. And the main feature of this crossbow is the 18-round magazine that you can load from below. Even the way you load the bolts is pretty similar to
a modern Choco Nu. Chat, the only reason why I know what a Choco Nu is from Age of Empires. Video games are fun!
what it would do in a firearm. You just kinda click them in place. And again, it can hold 18 of them. Here's how it works. To cock the weapon, you just push this lever, and I push down the body of the crossbow with my other hand. By doing that, the string mechanism touches the release springs, releasing the bolts into the groove, but one at a time. And while doing that, I never even have to move my hand away from the grip. Now, the string is held in place by a crossbow claw, and the bolt is sitting in front of it. And here's how it looks in one motion.
Bam, 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 bam. Put jello in it.
And now the crossbow is ready to shoot. There is also a long Picatinny rail that allows you to mount a variety of scopes. And I'm currently mounting a red dot. A green one. Anyways, this is how it looks like when I'm trying to shoot it as fast as I can.
It's satisfying.
To be fair, this is not an extremely powerful crossbow like the ones I'm gonna test later. I'm currently using a 60-pound limb, which is the standard one. Using a stronger limb would certainly give you more power, but it would also make it harder to cock, reducing the fire rate. Moreover, I believe 60 pounds should give you more than enough energy and damage, especially when using hunting tips. In any case, I'm gonna test exactly that. The Interceptor shoots 10-gram bolts at a speed of 203.4 feet per second, which means, as expected, that the energy is pretty low. But I'm also very curious to find out if this thing is accurate at all. For the accuracy test, I'm gonna mount a variable scope, while when it comes to the bolts, I'm gonna use the classic go-gun bolts for all the tests, besides the damage one, for which I'm gonna use very mean hunting tips. So I tried my best to zero the scope, and then I shot 3 times for the accuracy test.
Ooh, okay.
So I took 1 shot to see if my zeroing was wrong, and it was wrong. And then I took 3 shots, and they're basically all right there. Now, because of the limited power from 32 yards, the bolts are dropping quite a bit. So I took a few shots to calibrate my aim, and for these next 3 official shots, I'm basically aiming way above the target. 2.
This is not scientifically accurate. He's practicing
But
before
actually,
he
I'm
pulls
still
it.
pretty happy with these results. They all would have been headshots. So the Interceptor gets a total accuracy score of 22 points. The penetration test gave similar results to the medieval crossbow.
Yeah.
Nice hit, but no penetration into the wooden block.
It would hurt,
To be fair, if you are unsure how tough this wood is, here is what happens if I try to stab it with a combat knife. Basically nothing. So now, the last test is damage. For this one, instead of the field
buck
bolts,
knife.
I'm gonna use hunting ones, in which the tips are basically blades. So, can the interceptor
hardcore.
actually stop zombies?
You don't have it. Damn! That's good penetration right there!
Well, it certainly would have hurt. The arrow stopped after going through the jawbone, and my best guess is that it would have been lethal already if he landed
he's
on
in
the skull.
Italy.
Now, before moving to the two biggest, most powerful, and most expensive crossbows, I want to show you another semi-automatic one. This has a slightly slower fire rate compared to the Interceptor,
Still
but it has
faster than
more
the
than
medieval
3
one.
times the power. And it's called Adder. In this crossbow, the magazine sits on top of the rail, and the
Snake.
original magazine holds up to 7 shots. But the key feature here is the loading mechanism. It gives a better mechanical advantage compared to the Interceptor, so that I can cock a 109-pound limb, like in this case, pretty easily. And the jumping power is pretty insane.
Boom!
Anyways, let's go test it. Now, I usually film all this stuff in my garden, but I got neighbors, and I'm not sure if they'd like bolts for lunch. That's why I'm going in the middle of nowhere for all the tests. And so, while I get to the
Ew,
place,
it's
I'm
so
gonna tell you a story.
pretty.
I am by far the most
Italian.
unorganized person I've ever met. Like, I literally forget everything. And so, to keep
You got that ADHD, brother. I can relate.
up with all the stuff I gotta do and feel at least as productive as a normal person, I gotta use tools to help me out. And one of
He's a
them
man or a
is
woman
Odoo.
in his
Odoo
life.
is basically a software that helps people manage
it's
their
a fucking
businesses.
ad!
It offers
Are you
various
shitting
apps
me?
that make daily tasks easier. The first step you
Son
choose
of a
is free forever, including
bitch!
hosting and support. And then if you pick more apps, you gotta switch to a paid plan. One of Odoo's key tools is the Project tab, which is also the one I'm using. It allows you to track progress, set deadlines, manage budgets, and work with your team in
Manage
real time. The
this.
Kanban view lets you organize tasks by stages, moving them like sticky notes to keep everything organized. The Gantt view shows your tasks
wow.
on a timeline, helping you see their order and deadlines, while the list view displays all your tasks details and lets you manage multiple tasks at once. There is also a feature that allows you to record the time spent on each task using the
Holy
timesheets app.
Toledo!
This information helps you, for example, to
Min-maxing!
bill clients for the hours worked. Basically, Odoo centralizes all your information in
Odoo.
one place, making teamwork simple and efficient. I personally use Odoo to keep track of my video production schedule and meet deadlines, because without help, I'm basically all over the place. So I'm leaving a link in the description so you can try it for yourself. Moreover, your first app is completely free. So yeah, give it a try. Thanks to Odoo for supporting this video. Alright, let's test the other.
Ooh.
I forgot I gotta zero the scope first again.
Jesus.
The other shoots bolts at a speed of 254 feet per second. And since the bolts weigh about 14 grams, it gives an energy
That's
of
pretty
42
big.
joules, which is the highest one so far. Anyways, I'm shooting 3 times from 16 yards for the accuracy test.
You could hunt animals with that thing for sure.
And after adjusting the aim, 3 times from 32 yards.
Not bad.
And the other gets a total accuracy score of 23 points. It's almost identical to the Interceptor, but it actually makes sense, since I used the same scope for both. And the
Okay.
penetration test also gave pretty similar results.
We gotta get a bigger crossbow, man.
definitely deeper compared to the previous one, but still, no exit hole. It's almost there. Almost there. Alright, now I'm gonna try to shoot the ballistic dummy, and I got even meaner tips for this test.
Ooh.
This one's open. They're called flesh slicer.
They're called flash slicer. Gee, I wonder why. Ouch. Kind of just imagine that going in my face, huh? Shoot Alana in her butt. Chat, I will beat your ass. Do not shoot me with the flesh slicer.
You see that shutter bone?
Ooh.
This is
Ooh.
pretty insane. Right into the cheekbone. And I believe the other would be definitely lethal.
I bought my little cousin a crossbow.
So even before this video, I was considering getting the other.
I mean, to be fair, how old is the little cousin? I don't know if I trust little kids with fucking crossbows. What if there's gonna get a fucking painful memory from that? No.
Or the Interceptor.
He's 11! You know what? You're a based aunt. You're a based aunt. You gotta explain yourself, though. He'll learn. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they
Scepter.
will.
The choice between the
Old
two is
enough.
probably subjective. I personally like them both
Damn.
because of the compact size, because they are fun to use, but mainly for the fire rate.
Yeah, they're
Especially
fun.
for Europeans, it's very hard to find a better alternative you can buy without a license right now. So I'm leaving a link in the description to gogun.de, York's
Gogun!
website, so you can get one of these,
Those
as well
damn
as
Germans,
mods,
they're
more powerful
engineering.
limbs, and all the accessories to personalize yours. Check it out. Now,
Okay.
there are 2 crossbows left to test, and they both cost thousands of dollars. One is probably the most unique looking crossbow on the market, while the other is by far
Of course, the American one is called the Cox. Are you kidding me?
the most powerful one.
The cock!
If we consider the previous 2 crossbows as assault crossbows, these 2 are definitely snipers. I'm gonna start by testing the Lance Head F1, and the price tag is about $2,600. First of all, it comes with the nicest case I've ever seen. It even has wheels so you can carry it around. Anyways, the Lance certainly looks unique. It doesn't even
That's
look like a
cool,
crossbow,
okay,
to be
it's a
fair.
little suitcase.
Mainly because it doesn't have visible limbs. Instead of using the classic limbs, this crossbow uses a sort of coil spring system. Basically, the limbs are rolled up inside these spaces as a sort of coil spring. This system, mixed up with pulleys, makes the entire crossbow very compact and narrow. It looks more like a rifle than a crossbow. Inside the package, you also find 3 very nice carbon fiber arrows, a high quality scope, and a winch system to cock the crossbow.
thousands of dollars,
Because
Chad,
with
that's
this kind
why.
of power, it would probably be impossible to do it by hand. What also should make this crossbow so powerful is the acceleration length. It's huge. It goes from here all the way to the back when it's cocked. And generally, a longer power stroke, which is the amount of time this...
Crossbow users are not making gay language challenge impossible. I love my power stroke.
string is in contact with the
Chad,
bolt,
don't know
gives
power
a higher
stroke,
speed.
please.
I also gotta mention the quality of
You're
this
so
crossbow. The materials
lewd.
used are very nice, and the trigger already feels out of this world. Now,
Wow.
to load the crossbow, I gotta use the winch
Cocker.
system, which is completely silent, by the way. I gotta put this cross section of the winch inside its spot in the crossbow, then release the entire string and latch it onto the crossbow string.
That's cool.
And then I just wind it.
Men
This
are
way,
so
I'm pulling back the
smart.
string, and you can actually see the pulley system working. I can also release the
Pulley.
winch at any moment, because the winch has an integrated brake system, and so it keeps the string in place even if I'm not holding it. Alright, that was the sound of the trigger engaging. So I press the safety button, and then I can release the winch, load the bolt, and now it's ready to shoot. Alright, let's try it.
Trigger tech. That's gonna be a lot of power.
Safety off.
That's a lot of damage. Ooh, that's clean.
So this is the
Oh,
method my father uses
shit!
for the bows, and the arrows always stop. Now.
Oh, it went to the tree!
It went inside the tree,
That's
and
a
I
lot
had
of
to take it out of
damage.
the mat using a hammer. The difference in power compared to the previous crossbows is insane. And after a bit of practice, I also
Bam,
got faster at
bam.
reloading it. And so, let's go test it. The lens shoots the bolts at an insane speed of
Ooh.
382.1 feet per second. And since
That's
these bolts
fast.
weigh about 24 grams, that's 163 joules of
I was gonna
energy.
say 120, I
4
was off a
times
bit.
more energy than the other. And so now, I'm zeroing the scope for the accuracy test.
You're blowing that zombie's head
As
off.
usual, I'm shooting 3 times from 16 yards. And I got a very nice grouping. Then again, 3 times from 32 yards.
Boom. Boom.
And besides, 1 time that I flinched. And the zeroing that wasn't perfect, since the crossbow was shooting to the right, the grouping of the first and third shot was pretty nice from 32 yards.
Good
Anyways,
good
the
job.
lens gets a total
Very
score
nice.
of 22 points. But it was my fault. Now, what I'm very curious to test are the penetration and the damage for the lens. None of the previous crossbows managed to get through the wooden block and hit the ballistic gelatin. And the lens
Whoa! That's pretty! It's like Moses parting the seas,
Not only went
dude.
through the block, but it also penetrated
Bam!
about 9 inches into the ballistic gelatin.
Oh!
And now the damage test. Even though knowing what happened to the wooden block, I kind of already know what to expect.
Ooh. Oh, it's right through his head, isn't it? Ow! He's got pink blood. It means he's a Pippa fan.
And it feels safe to say this
Iron
thing would
Mouse.
certainly be lethal.
Yeah,
The thing
he's
is,
a
I thought that was
pee-pee.
powerful, but the last crossbow on the list is currently recognized as, and I quote, the world's fastest, most accurate, and most technologically advanced crossbow on the planet, achieving speeds up to 515 feet per second. That's why it's called TenPoint TRX 515.
Why is it called the cock, man?
I'm gonna show you the features of this
Why
crossbow
isn't it
that
called the
support
cock?
that claim. The first one being the twin riser technology. Think of the crossbow frame as the backbone. This design uses 2 layers of reinforced
Like a
material
skeleton.
that makes it much lighter, but also prevent it from bending or shaking when you shoot it. And in theory, less bending means more accuracy, because the energy goes straight into the arrow instead of being lost in vibrations. Then there is a premium trigger system, as well as an ambidextrous safety toggle, just like AR rifles.
Ooh.
While using the lens head, I was struggling a little bit reaching for the safety toggle, but in this one, it's very comfortable to reach. The crossbow also comes with a high quality scope that's calibrated specifically for its high speed. It allows you to aim targets up to 100 yards away, thanks to the clear markings for different
Holy!
distances.
There's like an actual scope! This thing costs thousands, man! How much did you say it costs? Like 6,000?
So all the components are basically
do you
super
need this?
high
Are you
end,
hunting
but it's
boar?
with the next 2 features that it gets really interesting. To show you those
Snipe your
though, I
neighbors?
first gotta cock the crossbow and load it. Unlike the lens, the winch handle
Is that legal in Italy? I would assume so because he's filming in his fucking house. I assume the Italian police would probably call him or something, no?
is attachable to the body of the crossbow, and the crossbow itself has an integrated
The
winch.
cock!
By
The cock!
pushing this button, I release the hook mechanism that slides until it grabs the string of the crossbow. And now, I just gotta touch the winch and wind it.
Okay.
At this point, I can load the bolt and then show you the
How
cool
long
features.
does it take though?
The first one is about the barrel and the arrow rest. In the majority of traditional crossbows, the bolt slides on a flat rail so that it's kept in place when you shoot it. In this case instead, the bolt is suspended, and it only touches these 3 elements to guide it when you shoot it, improving accuracy while making the crossbow also more durable, because there is less wear and tear. What also makes
Little
this
brush at the
crossbow
top,
very
too.
different from most traditional ones is the limbs. Traditional crossbows pull the string toward the shooter, while this one pulls it toward the front. This reverse draw system creates a longer power stroke, as well as more balance, since the crossbow gets tighter when it's cocked. Alright then,
Man.
let's try it. Now, since I know this thing
This
is gonna
is
hit
homoerotic
hard,
for sure.
I added a few layers to the usual
Cock,
target.
power stroke, again. Decocking. Oh, you can feel that!
And I don't know if you get it from the camera, but the power and the feeling this
power.
thing gives you is a completely different level.
Oh my god, it's so nice.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately,
better whip
though,
for
the arrow went
$6,000!
straight through all the targets, stopping only after hitting the tree, which I'm very sorry about. And it took me a while to get the tip out of there.
Poor tree,
Alright, I
apologize
can't keep
to
shooting
it!
this thing here. I need a much harder
Chad, I
target,
wanna shoot something.
assuming the one I
Like a
have is gonna be
boar
enough.
in the wilderness.
But yeah, let's go properly test it. And as usual, I'm starting with the speed test.
Bam! Oh!
It's pretty insane. The speed is 510.2 feet per second.
Almost
And
2
since
times
these
as
bolts
fast.
weigh about 28.8 grams or 1 ounce, it means this crossbow carries an energy of 348
Holy!
joules. That's almost twice the energy of the lens head and 8 times the energy of the other, which is already very powerful. The problem is that I'm also running into a problem I hoped I wasn't gonna run into. This mat has a softer foam and then a very tough layer to stop the arrows, and it worked perfectly till now. But this crossbow is so powerful that the arrow went straight through the tough layer and it broke in the process. So the biggest problem is that I got 2 arrows left for all the tests.
Oh,
To be fair though, I was pretty close to the
break
target
it.
when I shot, So maybe by normally running the accuracy test shooting from 16 yards, the bolts won't break. And so I took one first shot to calibrate the scope.
Oh, please don't break.
And this time,
That would suck.
the bolt did not break, but I think part of the target just melted onto it.
I was about to say, it had so much energy from the heat transfer, it melted the inside.
Anyways, I took the second
Yikes!
calibration shot.
Bam!
And I'm already pretty close to the center.
Bam.
I just need one more shot to zero the scope.
It broke.
It broke.
And that means I only got one bolt left. So I decided
the
to
bolts are
temporarily
expensive,
move
yeah,
to
I
the
bet.
penetration and the damage test, and go back to the accuracy test later.
That was
And-
cool, man.
The bolt certainly penetrated into the gelatin,
And the table!
and the steel frame of the table. That is the last bolt I have, and it's now broken too. So I spent like
You
half an hour
dummy!
calling all the archery and ballistic shops.
This isn't America either. You can't just like order one and have same day shipping, man. Oh no, he lives in Italia. They're gonna be like, Mamma mia, you broke the arrows? Oh, that's so bad. What the frick are you doing?
Invasion, and literally nobody has these
Yeah.
bolts. They're quite specific and
Oh my god, they're
apparently very,
100
very
bucks.
hard to find.
Jesus, dude.
So I have no idea how to keep going with this test, and I'm in a rush because I have to upload this video yesterday. Alright, we just found the solution,
Mamma mia.
and it's called Mark. Mark from tacticalarchery.uk. He's the same guy that sent
No
me this beautiful crossbow
way!
to test, and he just told me that he also has bolts. He's gonna ship them today, and they're gonna arrive in time for the video.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Mark. Jeez, if you wanna buy this specific mod,
Not gonna lie, I think he's a ding dong for shooting it that close and then. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he did it for content. Yeah, he's just silly. He's doing it for the
of
content.
crossbow is literally the best shop in Europe where you can get it.
Wow.
But they also have a bunch of
And-
different crossbows, bows, targets,
Wow.
bolts.
Bolts.
Check them out. They are great. All right, today is 3 days later. I bought a
worked?
much
Yeah, dude,
thicker
I'm a
archery
sucker
mat,
for it.
and this one, in combination with the old one, should definitely, safely, hopefully,
Hopefully.
stop the bolts. And I also got the new
Mamma
bolts
mia.
from Mark.
Please don't break them again, mister. You can hear all the forest noises. Oh! Did it hit through and...
I'm scared. Now,
No.
it's time to find out if the new bolts are just gonna break once again, failing the test, the video, you, and Mark. Let's see if the bolt broke.
Please no break the arrow. That
Alright.
would be really bad. Oh no.
And I think it's fine.
Oh. Oh
Yes.
thank God.
Yes.
I thought the old one stuck in there was broke. Oh, it's fine.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yes! Accuracy test, shot 1.
he's nervous. I've been nervous too, man. Oh,
So,
nice
first
shot.
shot. I think it counts as a 10. I'm also removing the bolt every time, because I kinda fear I'm gonna hit them with the next shot. Probably it's not gonna happen, but I don't wanna risk it. And at the second shot,
Oh. Oh.
it's exactly where I shot before. Literally the same spot.
That's
why I went in
insane.
a lot deeper. Like, you see what I mean? I shot 3 times. Look how many holes we have.
Wow, beautiful
insane.
holes.
That must have been luck though. So it's impossible that the third shot is gonna get in there again. It's still there.
It's a wider
I mean,
hole.
these are the 3 shots next to each other's.
Wow.
Anyways,
that's
now
actually
I'm shooting
really
from
good.
32 yards. Then I shot 2 times high and left, but I realized my scope got loose, or my aim was too embarrassing to take accountability for it. So I scrapped those, and then I shot 2 more times.
Bam, 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 bam.
And so the total accuracy score for the TRX is 53 points out of 60. Now the last
That's
test
really
is
good.
damage. And I mean, I can already know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna shoot the dummy
like
3
purple
times
now.
at different angles. And for the first shot, I'm gonna aim at the forehead. So damage test,
Big forehead.
shot number 1.
Oh. Oh. What? Did he miss? Oh! It went clean through! I thought he didn't even hit it!
And it almost looks like nothing happened on the front. But on the back, the skull basically blew up. Then I shot a second time.
Me after stream.
And I am not sure what happened there.
Oh.
I see smoke, the bolt tip flying. I just know the arrow broke for some reason and stopped inside the dummy.
The
and then
ballistic
I shot
dummy
the
is
third
a Giga
time.
Chad. Oh. Oh. Oh, the back end broke.
So then, what would I pick for a zombie apocalypse? Probably not a single one.
Get a gun.
I mean, at least two. I would certainly get a semi-R one, either the Adder or the Interceptor with a 90-pound limb to make sure it's lethal. And then I would get the TenPoint. Assuming I got no budget issues. The TenPoint is a clear winner in all categories, and I'd use that for long-range shots with insane accuracy.
Yeah, like
Let me know if you like
snipers.
this format. I think I could do this with a bunch of different weapons, and I think it would be interesting. Next, I'm building an insanely powerful, winch-powered...
Why did I instantly think of the homemade built gun? I got scared.
slingshot. So if you like this
It's
video,
a slingshot, Chad, not a homemade gun. Come on.
Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon with the next one.
Cool. That would be a ballista. Chat, you're a ballista. Of love. That's right. Chat, check them out. Oh my god. Goodness gracious.
Fire, 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 fire.